What's up, guys? Just want to make a quick video on some must-haves in the remote closing, remote sales space. Now, some of this is obvious. Some of this I don't think a lot of people actually think about. It's really important. Now, hardware, I'm not in front of my desk. If you guys have seen my other videos, you've seen my hanging my mic. You either see me with AirPods or no AirPods, and obviously have a good camera on my laptop. If you don't have a good camera, there's like a Logitech on Amazon you can get for like 60 bucks. A good mic. You don't need the whole, hanging setup. I got mine for like $80 on Amazon, but you can get, a cheaper one. And then headphones. I prefer wired headphones, and the reason why is it's sometimes more clear and there isn't as much of a lag. So when you need to interrupt a prospect, it's a little bit easier with a wired one. But if you have like my AirPods, just sometimes aren't that reliable, but they are good at noise canceling. So I'll use a mix of my AirPods and my mic. That's the obvious stuff, and I know I'm not in front of my usual setup, so I'm here to say and get a mic, and I don't have one. But what's really important is the software. The software is key. Now, what I'm using right now is my favorite app in the sales world, in the coaching world, in the online business space, is this little app called Loom. I don't know if you can see it on my screen. Loom is so important. Now, the premium version, I think it's like $8, maybe it's like $10 now. There's a free version. If you're not using Loom, you are doing yourself a disservice because Loom allows you to screen record and send it as a link. You can also, look, I can turn my screen, can do the full screen real quick, or I can go back to small mode. I can move myself around. But it's so important to land offers. When you can show that you're techie, that you know how to use a tech stack, that you can communicate clearly, because when I've recruited for roles, dude, I get so many DMs and people like, yeah, I'm interested. Awesome. You and all other 100 people in my DMs that I'm never going to go through because I'm fucking busy. But if you send like a clear video, that's going to really help you stand out. Now, the second thing is that with Loom, it's really effective for follow-ups. Like if you're selling a more B2B offer, that's maybe a two-step, or if you're actually good at following up and you do your job, Loom is very effective because you're just sending it to someone over like an email. You could also, with Loom, sometimes you'll get on a new offer that maybe they don't have as much pre-call resources. So you can use this to go through you can bring up like the influencer's page, let's say like their Instagram or something. I don't know. You can bring someone's Instagram up like, hey, I'm the main coach here at the Artful Dollar, or have their website or whatever, have their offer page. What the call is going to entail or what's going to be focused on is this, right? So you can actually take that into your own control. You don't have to hope that wait till the influencer gets around to it. So Loom is a must-have. And don't be cheap, just get the premium version. What the premium version also allows you to do is when you're screen recording, you can actually transcribe it. You can have your AI chop up the video, take out the pauses and the ums. So it's really cool in that sense. And then when you're, what I like to do is if someone sends me a call review or something for feedback, I can just do a 3-minute, 5-minute Loom and send it over. Next is Zoom Premium. Zoom Premium is important. It's not as important now because of Fathom, but it is still good to have. You want to be able to download all your sales calls. And one of the most important things you can do, and it's a really big mistake that I made in my first year and a half, is I only saved a few sales calls. I had hundreds of sales calls of like deals that I closed, and I just never saved them. And it's not, you don't think it's important until you're interviewing for a really cool offer and they're like, cool, send me 5 sales recordings. And you're like, I got to go scrounge for them, right? So Zoom Premium is good for that. I think it has a few other features as well. Now, it's not as important as Fathom. Fathom has kind of changed the game, and I'm pretty sure Fathom doesn't even, I don't even know if you have to pay for it. I can't remember if I pay for it. Fathom allows you to record all your calls, and then it'll also transcribe your calls. So you can actually get the transcription and look at why am I asking those questions? Am I actually acting with enough speed? Am I interrupting quickly enough? And then you can send the recording too. It makes it really easy, so you don't have to download it onto your computer and take up a lot of memory. And so I really like that because when I'm doing a call review for someone, or when let's say I run a coaching session, I can just send that over. Or I want to send a sales manager like, hey, can you take a look at this call? Like, how would I approach this avatar? It lets you do that. So these are really key softwares to have. I think these are like bare minimum you need to do. Like other stuff on top of this, I don't really even know. Like, oh, you can get really, really techie with like, I have this app on my phone called Opal. Let me put it here, Opal, optional. I really don't even think you need this. That like helps you block certain apps for an extended period of time. So if you really want to focus in on for 8 hours or 6 hours or however long you're blocking off time to really do deep work, it allows you to focus. So probably there's definitely more stuff like that. I can make another video, but at least I'm going to remove this. At least for the basics, these three are so important. And I highly, highly recommend you get them. So hope that helps. Now, last thing I'll say, all this will not make up for lack of skill. You still should be training, whether it's with me or with another trainer out there. I don't really care, but have some form of coaching to elevate your skill set. You want to get to a point where you have a consistent discovery process and you have frameworks for handling objections. From there, you can get fancy. You can really, really level up certain things in your tonality, your language, you're identifying patterns or, playing identity frames and things like that. But I think if you have a solid discovery and a solid framework for objection handling, then really becomes on getting on the right vehicle where you can have enough reps to get better, but also to make the money that you want. Hope that helps. Cheers.